So this your girl, K Trina. Everyone call me Trina for short. Basically, this is my coming out story. I really didn't know how to start off this video or like where to even begin because it's still a touchy subject to me, and I see still right now today kids are still going through the same thing. So I feel like I should share my story. Maybe someone can relate. So I was about 14 years old when I came out to my dad. And my dad's a pastor, so you know he wasn't going to approve. When I came to him, I told him it had to be a Saturday after church. I went to him and I told him that I had to talk to him. I told him that I like women, and I couldn't help my urge, and I couldn't stop looking at women, and I find them very attractive. My dad didn't approve. Right there, his whole face turned, and he just paused, and it was silence. For a whole 30 minutes, I'm sitting in his presence. And he told me that after the 30 minutes of him being silent, he told me that he needed me to leave his presence and that he got to talk to God. So it was about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, he woke me up for me to read the Bible with him and his wife. And they're reading the Bible to me, and after Bible study, they go and first, when he was reading the Bible, he reads about how women shouldn't be with women, and men shouldn't be with men. And in between, he goes to talk about like how could I be this way after he been saying all this time in church how it's an abomination and you shouldn't like women, or men shouldn't like men because you're going to hell. And how do you know if you're interested in something? How you know the devil's not playing with your mind is what my dad tells me. And I'm like, well, Dad, you saying God is love, and I feel like I will love a woman the same way as if you loved your wife. So I'm making all these comebacks, and I'm saying all these questions, and my dad starts to get mad. And he's telling me like, oh, that's not the same. But I'm like, you said it's not the same, but I'm making a perfect good point, and you can't tell me. You can't explain to me. He was like, oh, that's not how it's supposed to be. I know the answer. I'm telling you the answer about how it should be and what God want me to tell you. And I'm like, well, Dad, you saying this, but then you be trying to bend the rules for your own benefits. But when I'm telling you and I'm coming to your face and I'm asking you questions, and I'm telling you how I feel about a situation or how I see the situation, and I'm giving you good explanations about why I feel this way, you telling me that it's wrong. So from there, my dad started to get vexed. Like, his anger started to come out. He called me an abomination. He called me a licking lily. He called me everything you could possibly think of. When he started dealing with me, my dad slapped me in my face, and he tells me, oh, you think you know everything? You think this is how it's supposed to be? He said, I know because I'm telling you. And I'm like, I didn't say anything, Dad. I'm just asking questions because I want to know. You said it's not the right way, but I'm giving you how I feel about the situations. I'm giving you questions and you cannot answer them to the fullest. And he gets up and he starts jacking me up. He starts slapping me. He's like, oh, so you think you think this is right? You think for you to be with another woman, that's okay? You trying to be a licking lily? Like, everything. He said, you're an abomination. Like, that's not Jesus. Like, how can you love Jesus? You cannot have room for both. And I'm like, well, Dad, I cannot help who I am. I came to you in confidence. I came to you telling you how I see women or how I feel about a woman, and that I don't see men the same way. I never felt so low in my life. And for my daddy to jack me up, slap me in my face, call me names, it hurted me so badly. Like, I didn't know what to do. Like, I just prayed to God, and I'm like, God, why me? Why do I have to go through this? Like, I'm telling my dad that I like a certain thing, and instead of him accepting me, even if he wasn't okay with it and he didn't want it around, instead of telling me that he loved me and that I'm still his child, he did the totally opposite of what I would have never imagined that he would do. So we get into a fist fight, and he picks me up and he slammed me on the wall. He tells me to get out his house. And at this time, I start packing up all my stuff, and I leave. And it was really sad for me. Like, I was really hurt. I felt like I was alone. I felt abandoned. My mom was all the way in Miami, many miles away. Oh. And I wasn't able to talk to nobody. I didn't have anybody to talk to. I didn't think in a million years that my dad would turn his back on me. And he did. So from there, I get all my stuff and I leave the house. And he calls the cop and tell them that I ran away. I guess after 2 or 3 hours, he see that I wasn't coming back. And I was just across the hall, and he did not know. Like, I had left and I came back, and they let me stay over there. And I told him just don't let him know that I'm there. And the next day, I sneak out of their house, and I go back to my dad's house, and he let me in. And then he asked me, oh, so did you change your mind yet? And I told him no. I said, that's what I like. I'm going to be like this, Dad. I cannot change it overnight because you kicked me out. He kicks me out again. And he calls the cops and tell them that that I hit him. And they pick me up and they take me to juvie. And I'm sitting there. He tells the cops that he do not want me. He does not want me to come back to his house. They said, well, what you want us to do with her? He said, keep her in jail because she hit me. So they said they could only keep me for 24 hours. So they sent me to this place called The Bridge. And from there, I ran away from there twice. And it was a lady who sat down and talked to me. She said, I really want you to stay here because I feel like this would be the best thing for you. So I stayed in there for about 2 or 3 weeks. And I met a whole bunch of kids that was in my same predicament or in my same place and didn't have no one to talk to or couldn't talk to no one or tell them how they really felt. I met like all type of kids that were being abused. I met kids from like every different type of background you could think of in there for all different type of things. Because it's like a teenager shelter if you don't have nowhere to go and your parents don't want you at the house for a little bit. So my dad come back. He takes me up out of the program. And we get into another fight when I get to his, back to the house. I pulled some scissors to try to stab him with the scissors, and he called the cop and told them that I was trying to hurt myself. So from there, they tried to take me to the crazy house. And then he goes to tell them that I'm delusional and that he tells them that I'm gay so I wouldn't have a roommate to be in the room alone. And he leaves me in there for about a month. I was in there for about a month. I am not even crazy. He left me in there telling them I'm delusional. Like, telling them that I'm gay. Telling them everything. Said that I tried to harm myself. Telling them that I was crazy. Everything. Just so they can keep me in there. And they kept me in there for about a month. And when I get out, in order for me to get out, I had to tell my dad that I wasn't gay anymore. I had to try to convince him that that wasn't my lifestyle and that's not who I wanted to be anymore. And it hurted me to this day. I feel like I should have never had to go through that. Like, I should have never had to say I wasn't a certain way in order for my dad to love me. In order for my dad to accept who I was. Like, I felt like I didn't have nobody to talk to. And, it hurted. So, after that, I had got my first girlfriend when I got out of the crazy house and I go back to school. And it was this girl that I started talking to. And my dad found out about it. He moved me all the way to Louisiana. He moved me to Louisiana where I didn't know nobody. And telling us this is a new life for us. And it wasn't. From there, he shipped me to my mom. And I didn't see my mom for like 8 years. And that's another story. I didn't see my mom for 8 years when he shipped me back to Miami. And I told my mom that I liked women. She was so understanding. She gave me a hug and told me she loved me. And I've been happy ever since. Like, I'm free to be who I want to be. I'm free to love who I want to love. And I want people to know that it's okay if somebody else don't approve, or if your parents make you feel less than what you are. Just keep going and be strong, because it's going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay. Like, everything is going to change, and I turned out good. I have my own place. I am 21 years old. I took care of 2 of my sisters, and I even took care of my dad when he needed me. And he was sick, and he apologized that I couldn't accept that. Because you put me through so much. Now when you feel like you're about to die, you want to apologize. My dad is still alive. And he stayed right down the street from me. And we don't even communicate. And it's okay. Because I am happy. And I'm a proud lesbian. I'm proud to say I like women. I'm proud to tell everyone that I am gay. I am proud of who I am. I am proud to be just exactly who I wanted to be and who I have become. So, yeah, that's about it. And I guess I will talk to you guys later. So, bye.